Guitars are like a jigsaw puzzle. You can buy a puzzle with 100 pieces, but you're missing one and the picture's incomplete. Also, I have too many guitars.
Guitar Stuff with John.
Welcome to another very special edition of Guitar Stuff with John. So, we're entering the winter season, and the touring isn't really slowing down, but it's getting more manageable. And so, I am about to do a metric crap ton of reviews just to get your holiday juices flowing. You know, you might have a special person in your life that needs a guitar, blah, blah, blah. You might want a new guitar for Christmas yourself. You got to tell the wife what's on the Santa list. When you have wives that'll let you buy lots of guitars. I'm lucky I have one. This is a 3-part video. I couldn't tell the story in one video because there's too much going on. But it is the story of one of my oldest friends, Roger Schmidt, and the amazing story of Brickhouse guitars. So, I'm going to try to condense this information as much as I can and start out by saying that I ran into Roger 25 years ago when I don't even remember how we met, really. I do know at that time I was in the market for a mandolin. And he had a brand of mandolin at his shop called Stonebridge. And I ended up getting one. I then told him about a friend of mine, Dave Gunning, as you probably all know Dave. And Roger was really keen on getting a Stonebridge guitar into Dave's hands, which he did. And Dave became a rabid Stonebridge user for well over almost two decades. So that's how it started. The story behind Roger is a very interesting one. Roger is a true Renaissance man. He does everything well. He's a tremendous artist. Charcoal, pen, pencil. He does realism portraits. So when you look at one of his drawings, it looks like a photograph. It's so realistic that it could almost be a mirror image. It could be looking in the mirror at whatever's in the subject matter. He's actually world renowned. He's won awards for it all over the place. On top of all that, he's also a world-class fingerstyle guitar player. World-class. He's just brilliant. Composer, player. He knows what he's doing. So his dream early on, also a guitar builder, of course. So his dream early on was, long before any of this stuff was even being done, he thought, I want to start a line of guitars, and I'm going to get a really good luthier to build them, and we'll brand them in Canada under my company name, and I'll help design them, etc., blah, blah, blah. He approaches FERC, okay? FERC says yes. They look at his designs, they look at his business plan, and they decide to name the guitar Stonebridge after a structure that's near the workshop in Czechoslovakia where FERC is built. So that story goes on and on for years. Roger designed these guitars, FERC built them, sent them to Canada. Roger was instrumental. If there's any reason why FERC and Stonebridge, but FERC is known in North America is because of Roger Schmidt. That whole time period when they were building the Stonebridge guitars for him, and it blossomed into Stonebridge Guitar International, a users group of people that played Stonebridges and were way into fingerstyle, a huge community of players and owners and buyers and customers. And Roger facilitated all that. He put all that together, but at the time, I even told him, I said, FERC is so good that they might not always build for you, and you're doing so much for them in North America that you need to be prepared in case they say, okay, well, you've got us started. We're going to go off on our own here in that market. Well, that's what happened. There was a change of management. I believe it passed from father to son. The son went, I'm sorry, we can't do Stonebridge anymore. Sort of blew apart Roger's dreams, in my opinion. And I felt bad about it. Bad enough that I stopped playing all of FERC's products. Because I felt Roger had worked really hard, but you know what? You know how big a man Roger Schmidt is? He told them, fine, that's all good. I'll keep selling FERC. You keep selling the guitars. And he stayed with them. He stayed with them. After they stopped his juggernaut from going any further, he told them, yes, we're family. Keep sending them. I'll continue to sell these guitars under the FERC name. Man, that's a big thing. It's a big-hearted thing, and a true gentleman would do that. And that's what he did. So flash forward about, 6-7 years. Things are changing in the guitar market and the manufacturing market, and people are starting to use Asian builders to build guitars. Some great examples are AMI bought the rights to Sigma and started having them built in China, and they're among some of the nicest guitars on the planet, all Chinese. Eastman out of China. Bourgeois is now having Bourgeois guitars built in Asia for, to lower the pricing and stuff. It's being done all the time. So Roger started looking around, and he met someone that I didn't know about, but it doesn't surprise me that this gentleman exists. A man named Hozen Young, who prefers to just be called Hozen. Yeah, so this is the part where Dickweed says the wrong place for Hozen. Hozen's Singaporean. He's from Singapore. Singapore. Who left that 45-gallon drum of paint thinner open in here again? Anyhow, he's from Singapore. Dick. Master luthier, who is renowned for his ability to shape and tone tops by hand. He voices tops by hand with a chisel, with his hand tools, to the extent that his tops are sought everywhere. And so Roger found this guy and said, could we have some of your guitars at our shop? And lo and behold, the company that Hozen runs as his own is called Maestro. Very fitting. And he sends guitars over to Roger, and they blow Roger's mind. So that's where this video is going to end, because I'm now going to show you a Maestro guitar built by the master luthier Hozen and his team of 9 builders. They're a small operation. They travel as a group from place to place to prepare top size for all kinds of different projects and companies. But his guitars that he builds are, quite frankly, stunning. Here's an example of it right here. This is the Maestro guitar. This instrument is built by hand by him and his team of luthiers. The top, back, and sides have all been manipulated by him for the ultimate tonal projection, volume, clarity, and I have some silica gel in there. I just got this guitar and played it on the last few shows of the tour. It just boggles my mind, this instrument. And I want you to just listen to this thing. This is brand new. It was hanging in Roger's shop, and I bought it. It was priced. Now, we're going to get to that, too, because that's really important. But listen at this. Man, dear God, it's unbelievable. It's just an instrument like I thought. You think after a while of doing this that I wouldn't run into guitars anymore that really kind of blew me away, but this blows me away. There's something about this instrument that is super old. It has all of the qualities that I love in the other guitars I talk about all the time. Boucher, Gallagher, the inspired by Gibson series. There's so many guitar Yamahas, the L series Yamahas. I'm going to tell you something, and I'm not afraid to say it, that the Japanese builders, from Yeri to Yamaha to this guy, who's from Singapore, they're unbelievable. The workmanship and what they're able to accomplish in a shop with 9 or 10 people is frankly terrifying. When you think about how much, and when I tell you how much this guitar costs in the range of $3,500. That's it. And when we take a close look at this thing, you will not believe the appointments and the quality and the workmanship in this instrument. It's flawless. And the reason I'm so excited about this guitar in particular, and all of Hozen's instruments, as we're going to look at, there's 2 more videos coming up on this subject. So the reason I'm so excited about this is because my biggest thing about guitars is how much guitar can you get for the money, right? That's why I push guitars that cost $800, $900, $1,000, because they're awesome. They really are awesome for that amount of money. You can't beat it. You just can't beat it, right? But there's a price point problem in my structure in between guitars like the $1,500, $1,800, the $1,500 Epiphone Excellente Frontier and Boucher, which is at $7,000, and Gallagher, which is at $4,000, $5,000, $6,000. I don't have anything in between it. And I haven't been able to really find anything between it. Well, here it is. This is the guitar that fills that space of the $25 to $4,000 mark, where you're getting a handmade instrument that is absolutely flawless and will floor you when you pull it out of the case. So we're going to take a close look at this guitar, and you're going to see why I'm so excited about it, because it's one of the nicest guitars I've ever played, and I'll never part with it. As I said, I bought it. It was hanging up, and I was like, what is that guitar, Roger? And he said, well, that's Hozen's own company, Maestro. And I pulled it off the stand, and I fell out. I said, well, I have to buy this. I'm sorry. And I just started counting out money because I had to have it. And so anyhow, let's take a close look at this masterpiece of Japanese building. Singaporean, you idiot! So here we are looking at the Hozen slotted headstock dreadnought sunburst. This thing is absolutely ridiculous. Look at the workmanship in that. The inlay is just to die for. It's so well done. Rosewood veneer, nice tapered Martin style headstock, bone nut, ebony bridge. Okay, that's actually a fretboard. Can we find somebody else to do these? All bound in maple. Everything is bound in maple. Beautiful snowflakes all the way down. And then we see body, which is immaculate. You see where I've been playing the crap out of it. Herringbone trim, all bound in maple. Clear pickguard, which is an interesting touch, that he didn't put a big pickguard on this thing. It's interesting. But look at this sunburst. Look at the grain. That looks like Adirondack. I'm not sure if it is, but there's a tremendous amount of flame and grain in it. Look at that. The pyramid bridge. Beautiful wooden, brass and pearl accented bridge pins. Bone nut. There we go. There's our sticker. Maestro Guitars, Singapore. That is his headquarters. And back to our herringbone trim. He calls this the traditional series, based on this, of course, I guess you would call this a slope-shouldered dreadnought. And the back, of course, is Indian rosewood, and it's just unbelievably nice. All bound in maple end cap. And look at the flame in this rosewood. Look at that. Look at the match there. It's just something that you can almost reach right into. What a tremendous grain. And again, these guitars are hand voiced by Hozen. They are just put together so well. They have Adirondack bracing. I think the series does. And the playability of this guitar, oh, by the way, yes, the neck. Beautiful mahogany neck. Primo tuners. The old Waverly style. These actually are Waverlys. Shows what I know. Anyhow, yeah, look at that. Just so well made. So well made. This guitar is an absolute joy to play. It's just unbelievable. It plays virtually by itself. It's one of those kind of guitars, like when Robin was here, we played all my guitars, and this is a guitar that Robin would have a hard time keeping his hands off of. And I believe by playing it just as long as I have, that Hozen adopts the same philosophy as Robin. He's building with a very small group of builders. He has his hands on every single piece of wood that goes into his guitars. And if you look on his website, if you just look up Maestro guitars, man, he is building some incredible instruments. And this is one of them at a price point that is jaw-dropping for this kind of workmanship and material. Like, you'd have to pay 3 times this for an American company to build this guitar for you, I'm sure. Anyhow, there it is. The Tread series from Maestro Guitars. Master Singaporean luthier Hozen. And so there you go. There is the Maestro Dreadnought Sunburst slotted headstock. It's just the nicest guitar. It's so well built and plays so well. And I might also add, it has another thing that Roger has created. It has an SGI pickup in it. This was a difficult proposition for Roger to achieve as well. He, again, went to Asia, and he tried dozens of sensor systems, put them in guitars, and tried them, and took them out. That was no good, that's no good, that's no good, until he found the one that agreed with his bracing system, his tonal taste, and what he knew his customers were using the guitars for, and that's what he picked, and he's branded them under his SGI label. So, and it's a sensor system just like K&K. I actually prefer this in this guitar, I think, rather than anything else. This thing plugged in is beautiful, fat, warm, no serious mid-spike. It makes the guitar sound incredible. No battery, no nothing. Plug it in the amp and go. Again, good on you, Roger. And they're cheaper than K&K. So he's thinking about all corners of this. He's trying to get fantastic instruments into the hands of people, fantastic pickups, without breaking the bank, and you've got a masterpiece quality instrument. And the proof's in the pudding. What a beast. What a beast. So, there you go. There's installment number 1 of the incredible story of Brickhouse Guitars and Roger Schmidt, and now his brilliant partnership with Hozen. There you go. Keep on picking. Check out Brickhouse Guitars online. Roger has a metric crap ton of killer guitars in that shop. We've started calling them Gruen's North, and there's a reason for it, because you just can't go anywhere else, I think, in Canada and see just the sheer number of Canon guitars that are in that shop, including Boucher, these others, which will be discussed as we move through these 3 videos concerning Roger's fantastic new adventures in the world of guitar. Anyhow, love you guys. Glad to be back with you. Keep your eyes open. There's 2 more videos coming after this one, and then a bunch more after that. All before Christmas here on Guitar Stuff with John. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button. Stay with us. We love you. See you next time.